Welcome to the Green Space. Welcome to Beginner's Ear, an experiment in elevating the art of listening so that we might hold a little space for the music to unfold in all its nuances and beauty. I'm really grateful to WQXR for making this series possible, and to the Jerome L. Green Foundation for their support, and also once again to Steinway for providing a beautiful instrument. I am really thrilled to have Thomas Droge again leading us in the meditation, and truly honored to have Lisa Moore in charge of the music today. And she'll be joined by Julian de la Chica, who will join in for one of his compositions at the end of the program. So as some of you know or might have guessed, beginner's ear is kind of borrowed from the term beginner's mind, which is in Zen Buddhism the kind of ideal state of a mind that is open to the present moment, free from preconceptions or the kind of mental constructs like preferences or dislikes or expectations that can get in the way of really connecting with what's in front of us. And I think that the program that we have prepared today is beautifully suited for working on that quality of mind a little bit. A lot of the music that we will hear plays with a lot of repetition of small patterns or musical cells. And to me, it seems like one of the paradoxes that while the music requires an unbelievable amount of focus on the part of the performer, I think at least it's best consumed when we bring a certain quality of almost surrender to the listening, of not trying to grasp for meaning or story in it. So I'd be curious to see how that lands in the space that we create today. Once again, I would ask you, if you haven't already done so, to just send a little bit of love to your very hardworking cell phones and give them a break too. They will be grateful, and so will your fellow listeners. And as for you, if it is February, it is almost February, if anybody feels the need to cough or sneeze or shift, please be comfortable, do what you need to do, and don't feel like this is a punitive exercise in silence. So I'm going to hand over now to Thomas. He's going to lead us in a 10-minute guided meditation, and out of that resulting, hopefully, beautiful stillness, the music will emerge, do its thing, and recede back into the silence. And then you will hear a little chime at the end, and that'll be our sign to come to and connect for just a couple of minutes over observations and questions and comments. Thank you so much.
This is our new mic. So we're going to hear a bell, a chime. I'll take you through a guided practice, and you'll hear it. The music will chime once more at the end of the meditation, and then the music will just come in when it's ready. And at the end, you'll hear another chime. I'll ask you to close your eyes, and it's an interesting experience, but as Corinna said, honor yourself and what you need. So let's begin. Find your feet on the ground. Let your chair give you a comfortable support. Let your eyelids relax. Take a deep cleansing breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And as you exhale, just let yourself come into the room. Feel your body finding its place connected to the earth. Become aware of your breath as it's passing through the nostrils, We're going to take away any need to do anything. So in the awareness of your breath, to feel it, notice it, but let your body breathe itself. Bring your awareness to your mind, to your brain, to your head. And just scan through your muscles of your head, your temples, your forehead, the muscles of expression on your face. And with a deep breath, drawing in, as you exhale, just let the tension and the ideas and the expressions soften and relax. Let the jaw release. Let the story of your day and of your week just pour down through your body into the ground like water down a hill. Feel the muscles of your neck. And just gently circle your head just a tiny bit. And let all those muscles find their most easeful place of balance so that you can hold the head with as little tension as possible. Feel the lightness of holding your head in a relaxed place. The neck muscles finding ease and balance. And come into the left shoulder. And let the left shoulder just rest down into a comfortable, neutral position. The right shoulder finding its natural place. Feel the left upper arm and elbow, the left forearm, the left wrist and hand. Releasing any doing, releasing any tension, and just easing into a spot of comfort. Take a breath in, come over to the right upper arm, the right elbow, right forearm, wrist, right hand and fingers. Like a river finding its way down a mountain, just let the tension pour out and the arm find its natural place. in this moment. Come back and follow the breath through the nostrils into the lungs. Into the chest and the heart. For the next 2 exhales, all the tension you're holding in the chest and the upper back and middle back, just exhale out of your body. Let the abdomen soften. And if you can, let your breath as you inhale fill into the abdomen and lower back. Maybe take a slightly deeper breath into the lower abdomen one more time. Come into the left hip. Let the muscles of the hip just relax and unwind. The knees on both the left and the right side opening, allowing the weight of the leg to connect with the ground. The right hip and the right upper leg. Trusting the ground, trusting the chair. Feel the left lower leg down to the left ankle, the left foot and the toes. Let your toes wiggle a little bit, making contact with the earth. The right lower leg, the right ankle, the right foot. And wiggle the right toes a little bit. Let yourself adjust your shoulders any way you need to, or hips. Maybe you notice a new slight shift you need to be in order to truly be comfortable. So the body and the mind can soften. And receive. Take one more deep breath in through the nose, just connecting your whole body to this moment and this feeling so that it's always available to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. I always like to say that in this kind of a setting, we listeners are really co-creators of a performance. And so I want to congratulate all of us and all of you as well on creating such a beautifully focused and calm and sort of transcendent performance. But especially thank you to Lisa and Julian. Lisa, do you want to maybe just talk us through the program that you played, and then Julian can talk a little bit about his piece?
So I started with a piece by Philip Glass called Metamorphosis 2. And then I proceeded to play Hannah Lash's Trills, which is an etude she wrote a few years ago for me. And then I played a piece by Julia Wolfe called Earring. That was the one with the very glittery stuff at the top. And that's a short piece she wrote a few years ago. And then I played Philip Glass Etude Number 2 from 1994. And then Julian joined me for a piece that we have out on our new album, which is Prelude Number 13. So, which is my favorite one of the set, and I think it's so beautifully blended. So that was the program.
Julian, can you tell us a little bit about, I think you were mentioning that the composition of your piece grows out of a meditation practice too. I'd love to hear a little bit about how that comes into being.
Well, I think the exploration of the inner life, it's crucial in my music process. I think we are living in a world full of saturation. You know, the TV, the news, the marketing, the social media, or the pretension of the social media, and what we sell to the people through these eyes. So I in my work, I try to fight this everyday situation with a clean and clean music structure. I try to create that space where the communication between the music and the listener, it's sacrosanct, almost, you know, la comunión. So I don't want to push the people there, but I would like to think my music invite the people to meditation, and I think it's not about religion or what you believe in. I think it's more about that space where you can be, you know, sitting and speak with yourself. Also very difficult to find these moments right now. So I composed these last two cycles, the preludes and one cycle before with for a soprano, and they both explore the dark and the light that we have, you know, in our interior, how we can work with them. So how can we talk about what is happening around us if we do not know what is happening within us? So I think that is the big question.
Yeah, thank you. One thing that really struck me about all the pieces on the program was that they really connected to the idea of practice, which is so fundamental to meditation. Of course, usually when we meditate, we talk about it. It's always practice. It's never finished or accomplished, and certainly never a performance. And it's so integral to the art of a musician also to practice. And I think often what they have in common is to just focus on isolating something and repeating that, and trying to keep other variables constant and sort of seeing what happens when you stick with something. And often the sort of really transcendent opening can happen when you stay with something that seems seemingly boring for a while, or that seems to be almost like resisting our desire for constant novelty. And Lisa, I would love to hear about what it's like for you as a performer to bring that kind of spacious patience to some of these pieces where things seem to stay in one plane, and then suddenly one chord shift or one change of rhythm can really open up new doors.
Yeah, well, I'm not a particularly patient person, so it's a big challenge for me to do slower music. I spent most of my younger days doing very difficult virtuosic music, and I just in the past few years, well, since I started with the Glass project, learning a lot of Philip Glass's music and recording it, I felt that it was just so much more, expression of trying to just slow down and just trying to be in one place. And I found that what Thomas was saying at the beginning about in the meditation were things that we tell ourselves as performers all the time, you know, not to judge, not to let the thoughts come in, or if they do, that's okay. But, you know, I think as a performer, it's your inner voices and the demons that are telling you these things when you're playing. And so the Glass is a place particularly for where I have to be sitting back. And that doesn't mean that things don't come into your head and interfere with it, but it's been really great for me personally to do this music, which I just think is just so beautiful as well. And even just when you think it's expected, something unexpected happens within the music anyway. So it's just been really great for my own feeling. And then actually when Julian came to my disc launch of the Glass, and he introduced himself at that disc launch and then said what I want to do a disc of his music. So that's how we got to know each other. And because he's a great fan of Philip Glass as well. But even in Hannah Lash's piece, I felt that sort of suspension with the trill, the constant floating, had aspects of a kind of fantasy, exploration of kind of nervous energy, and very Hannah's very intense, and I think people's music, it comes out what their personalities, whether they want to or not, not necessarily, but and I think that Hannah's music is very it can be considered calm, or it can be considered very nervous, I think. I don't know. What did you think of it? Did you think did people feel it was appropriate after the Glass?
I'd love to hear comments or questions also from the audience, and we do have microphones that
it's a big change from the Glass to that, and then to the Julia Wolf piece.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure, when you're programming, whether you should go gently into everything or just, is it a big shock? Anybody have any feedback?
I thought that transitions between the pieces was actually the most effective part, bringing it into meditation. You sort of are in one piece and you get a little bit lulled, and particularly the very striking entrance to each one of the pieces was a path back into awareness and the moment and the consciousness of the moment, as opposed to sort of getting lost in space. It was, to me, the best part of the whole connection of the pieces and the meditation.
It reminded me to keep letting go of the I like this, I don't like this. Just notice it, be with it. And so I really loved, here I go, I loved. But I appreciated the variety in terms of it being helpful to the practice of meditating and just staying with an open mind.
Yeah.
I find often when I go to concerts now, if I listen with my eyes closed, I get such more pleasure from it. And I think that the entrance from meditation into that, maybe, did a lot of people have their eyes closed during the, I think it really does help to take it in. And
I know that for me, the crescendo and the, I I think it was the first Philip Glass, right? There's like this, it just seemed like this enormous surge of sound that was, because I kept my eyes closed, it was really visceral, like I was being sort of carried on this big wave, and that was just a really beautifully embodied way of connecting to the music. Thank you so much. I, as always, want to be mindful of the fact that we are in the middle of a working day for many of us, and thank you all for making time and space on a Friday to come and spend a little bit of time on mindfulness and music. Please do come back. February brings Baroque music next week on period instruments. February 14th, romantic piano duets, four hands with really superstar pianists Alessio and Lucille Chung. And then there's music for clarinet, viola, and piano with the principal clarinetist of the New York Philharmonic, Anthony McGill, on the 21st, and a wonderful guitarist on the 28th. So check the website. Please do come back. And on your way out, if you like, come and say hello, and also stop by a table where Lisa is selling CDs of some of her music. So thank you so much, and I hope to see you again. Thank you. Thank you.